Hashivenu Hashem Melecho, Hashem Melecho, Kenoshuva, Hashem Yomeinu, Yomeinu, Kekedeh. Hashivenu Hashem Melecho, Hashem Melecho, Kenoshuva, Hashem Yomeinu, Kekedeh.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai. It's so geschmack to be back. I missed everybody. The shiurim weren't the same. When you say it in a basement somewhere, it's a house somewhere, it's not the same. So it's great to be back.
In a mansion somewhere.
In America somewhere.
In a backyard somewhere. That Tom's River. That was by Yoel Reifer. It's probably also to do a shir. I'm thinking there, like it takes away the cheshek to make aliyah, you know? It's like shtusim. Havli olam hazeh. We always like look around real quickly, look around next to you and see who's missing, because I'm telling you one or two guys is dropping out. The good news is Eli Dushinsky is here, so that's unbelievable. I mean Dolinsky. Dushinsky's not here.
Not anymore.
Who's that? Yuda? Eitan, what's going on here? Look who's here. Shalom Aleichem. Bring him up. Give him a good seat. Psh. Wow. Yesterday they told me you're in the hospital. Today he's here in this year. Wow. Gewaldig. Okay, Rabbi Isai, today's breakfast is sponsored by Ari Davis in honor of Rabbi Eli returning to Israel, in honor of my cousin Dr. Meir Wickler, who is here today live for the first time. Doctor, this is one of the most unbelievable people in the world. If I tell you, look at him. Look at everybody. Zoom in on him for a second. If I told you he was 60 years old, you wouldn't believe me, right? He's over 80 years old. B'li ayin hara. B'li ayin hara. And he's what? No? 78. He's a world famous psychologist, writer. What was it called? What do you call yourself? A therapist. We're talking later. A present. A sefer book. What is this? Yours? Wow. Let me see. Thank you for being here. When did you start with us? Saita. Tchilu kvar. Shares in 25 minutes, Rabbi Yisai. Peretz Chaim Levin in honor of Rebelli's return to Yisrael. Oh, it's all backwards here. But it's Rav Pam. Let's see if you know his name. Avram Yaakov ben Reb Meir HaKoyen Pam. Behind closed doors, over 45 years of helping people overcome their challenges.
And a special section on negative associations.
Negative associations.
For people who have Gemara-phobia.
Gemara-phobia. If people have Gemara-phobia, they come down with shir. That's the. Did you write it over here? Why did you mention MDY in here?
It came out before I thought.
It came out. So the new edition, Bezer Hashem. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
It's free.
Shalom Aleichem from?
West Hempstead.
West Ham, Shalom Aleichem. Look, you're sitting next to one of the choshev people here. Wow. When do you come out?
Tuesday afternoon.
You're here already. Wow. Chesed Hashem. Okay. Beautiful. Who else? We have some guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Brother. Shalom Aleichem. And you guys, what's your name? Shalom Shem Tov. Shalom Aleichem from? Son. Shalom Aleichem. And you?
Michael and Yonah Leiba from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn, Flatbush. Givaldik. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From? Queens? Givaldik. Shalom Aleichem. Oh, next to Eli. What's your name? Who else? That's your. Oh, yeah, that is your son. What's your name? Yeah.
Lenny Yudkowitz, Hollywood, Florida.
Lenny?
Lenny Yudkowitz.
What's going for Hollywood, Florida? You saw me there. Givaldik. Shalom Aleichem. You see? Yeah. Okay, who else do we have here? Your son? Avade. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Yankiv Yitzchok. Shalom Aleichem. The son. Your father made all the breakfast here while I was gone? What a tzaddik. All right, who else do we have here? Anybody? What's your name?
I'm Becker from Lakewood.
From Lakewood. I was just there. Not from Tom's River, not from that. From Lakewood. Shalom Aleichem. Yeah? Who? Oh, yeah. What's your name? You're hiding a little bit. You don't have to be on if you don't want.
Mordechai Mintzberg.
From?
From Canada. I just moved to Aleph.
Wow. I just spoke about it yesterday. We have to be mechazikim. V'aftis hager. It says in Sefer Chinuch, they have to be nice to all the people that come from faraway places. Givaldik. Who else do we have? Anybody else? What's your name? Yuda Goldberg. Ooh, you get a Moki Menachem, no? Moki Menachem Eschem, Mesich Shavi L'Tzim V'Shalom. When do you get up?
Yesterday morning.
Wow. And you're here today?
Of course.
Wow. Wow. Where is Ashi? Ashi! Moki Menachem Eschem, Mesich Shavi L'Tzim V'Shalom. And you're here?
Yes. Where else would I be?
Wow! Unbelievable. Wow, you give a lot of chizuk. You give a lot of chizuk. I just spoke to somebody in Shiva yesterday. Spoke to Mark. It's tough. But to come the day after is a big chizuk. Rabbi said this, it's incredible chizuk for me. Guess how many satellite locations we have in Hebrew? Yesterday I spoke about, 2 days ago I said 15. We're up to 18 already. In 1 week it went up. And here some guy made a thing. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's like 2 minutes long. It's very funny actually. But
שימו שמיים וארץ ארץ כי השם דיבר. אחינו קדושי עליון, תושבי השכונה, תוירו אחי סומוך. הנה לא יכולים מבשר לכם זהו הגדלו. הנה על האורם רק למבשר משמיע שלום. הוא גם סניף חדש של השיעור האגדי. השיעור שזה זה את עולם התורה של הרב המחדש. מוירנו אלי סטפנסקי שליטה. אז כעת, קומי אוירי גיבור אוירך. עם תחילת מסכת סויריוס. בבית הכנסת המפואר, בית ישראל, ביום שלישי, ט' באלול. תסמנו בלוח שנה, תצמידו פתק על המקרר עם מגנט, תלבשו את השעון במקום על יד ימין, על יד שמאל, או במקום על יד שמאל, על יד ימין, זה תלוי ביתר יד.
Bekitzer, in Hebrew is very funny. I write, this says, I'm getting up from Shiva. I came to Israel 3.5 weeks ago to visit my sick father with hopes to attend MDY a couple of times, but Hashem had other plans. It's of being by his bed during the last 2.5 weeks, doing 2.5 weeks of Kibbud Av. Rabbi say, you hear this Kibbud Av, Chaparayin, when our parents are still here. My late father is a big proponent of Amud and Daf Yomi, finished about 1.5 times with Chazara. Very Yashim man, would never go a day without learning his prescribed Seder as well as working full time. For 34 years, came to Eretz Yisrael 11 years ago, joined the Gra here in, I guess, in Bet Shemesh, learned 2 Zdar a day, Pishachas and Daf Yomi. One of the hardest parts of the last few weeks in Shiva was not being able to learn the Daf. I'm taking advice, and instead of trying to go back from where I missed, I'll start again from today's Daf. You live in Australia?
Yeah.
Wow. Mirz Hashem, I'll be at the Daf in person, as I do not want to be completely lost in tomorrow's Daf. You went back, huh? Reminds me of an amazing story I heard from one of the visitors we had during Shiva. When my family lived in South Africa, my father was very involved in the lives of a few Afrikaner Gerim. One of them, who remained anonymous, told us a story when he was trying to be Megayer. The South African Bezdin asked him why he doesn't just be a good guy and keep the Shem Mitzvahs B'nai Noyach. He responded, I spent many years getting rid of Avodah Zarah. How am I going to find a shidduch for my children from a family also does not have Avodah Zarah? The Megayer shortly after, Yehuda Goldberg, Thomason, Moed Cotton, thanks to Dave Sandler from Sydney, visiting from Melbourne, Australia, ex-South African PS. Thank you to Remy Cohen, Selwyn Jaffe, and Leiba David for paying a Shiva visit. Leiba. PPS can ask Rebelli to help me mechazik my friends in Melbourne to learn, join MDY virus. We have a plan. We want to come to Australia one of these days. Maybe this year, maybe next. I don't know. We have to put it on our calendar. Plan to Mirz Hashem make a siyum on the Masechta for my late father Shloishim. We got to be no. Make a place over there. Let's go. A whole with a screen. Make a matzav over here. We have 18 places. You got to go. What time is it?
You got to be careful there.
Why?
Australia. It's already dangerous.
We had a February from Marcus.
Listen to this. What?
We had a February from Marcus.
Yeah.
Shavuos came around and...
You need a good guy that's mechazik, that keeps on. Listen to this. Great idea to put subtitles for different languages like Spanish that we had, Spanish, Yiddish. But here's an idea I never thought of. Put subtitles in English on the Hebrew shir so people that could watch it could learn Hebrew. Because there's a lot of people. Rabbi Isai, this is the first very day in Stamford. Be mechazik. Stamford Hills. Stamford Hill. Be mechazik doilim every night at 10 p.m. They were freed.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
I like his RV.
I'm in Monterey, California, daffing away. Slucha.
Do be freed. Do be freed. Check this out. Jonathan Stern. Oh, Rabbi Isai, I debated if I should read this. I got this a few days ago on the 18th. What day is it today? The first. So, I'm telling you right now, I know my friends are going to say, oh, it's getting to my head. This is not getting to my head. Why? Because I'm a Litvak. But whatever, there's different reasons. Look over rebellion in the last Shabbaton, we asked you for a bracha for children. You responded with a beautiful bracha for Zeresh L'Kayama. 3 days later, we received the most incredible news that we were, Baruch Hashem, expecting over 13 years after our previous child. It's only, you have to go to the Shabbaton for those brachas. The other one was also in the Shabbaton. The American Shabbaton. Talking about there's a Shabbaton coming up in 2 weeks here in Eretz Yisrael. The last year has been a huge roller coaster for us, but throughout it all, the Daf Zarah was always a constant. My children already know that it's the first order of business each day. It's a habit that I'm truly proud of. Needless to say, the Daf has changed and enhanced my life by teaching me many yisodos I never learned in yeshiva. This is giving more meaning to my avodah in many ways. May Hashem give you the koyach to continue spreading Torah to Klal Yisrael and blow past the goal of 400,000. Moshe Plotnik, originally Chicago, now Clifton, New Jersey, but became a Daf Beis. His father is a very famous Rav in Chicago, Rabbi Plotnik. Oh, and one last thing. About Everglades National Park.
I'm out here, as you can see, at Everglades National Park.
He's trying to recruit people.
For the Daf. A lot of people out here. Reb Yid, there's a Jew right over here. Come here. Do you look? I gotta know if this guy learns the Daf. Who is he? He looks awfully familiar. Aren't you the famous Yosef Bilyak?
Hi.
You do learn the Daf. See, I'm trying to recruit some Yidden out here. If you see any Yidden, let me know. We want them to join the global movement and keep on Dafin.
All right. Oh, I forgot, we do sponsors here. The Masechta is sponsored, what Oiva Voizmir. David Solomon dedicated memory of Reb Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zechrono Levrocha. Anonymous. Anonymous. May I learn to be a shield of protection and a source of unity and blessing of Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius, Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius. Monthly sponsors, TCS Israel, powered by Talk and Save. Anonymous, Rav Shlema, Sorba Motaram, and Shira Bat Sarah. Dr. Avram Epstein and his wife Rivka. Fushlema for Shoshana Bas Razel. Innovations LC, Lunishmas Reb Chaim ben Rebbe Lazar, who hope you and your family have a Nechama, Eli Chaya, Kalmo, Yisrael, and Tehillah. Yitzi Halder, in honor of our new granddaughter Yakira. Daily sponsors Anonymous in honor of Aim Goldman's Hebrew birthday, Chof Zainav. Bizoichet to bring more Yidden to Torah and finish Shas. He brought in who? Anybody know? Who did Aim Goldman bring in? Molandi. Anonymous, L'schus Hatzlocha, Moshe Landy. L'schus Hatzlocha, Sally Fort Gang. They married my father from Yankiv ben Matisyo and the Tosha Rebbe on their yard side. By Tani Pollack. Rabbi said, listen to this. This is crazy. In memory of my son, Ezra Tovia Yaakov ben Natanel Yitzchak on his third yard site. It's 3 years. Yankee Spitzer for the birth and bris of our first baby boy after 7 girls, Kenai as you make a bris on the 8th. Anonymous. Lefur Shlema Yosef Yosef Ben from the Bela, a child in critical condition. You should have Lefur Shlema. MDYR, monthly Lefur Shlema for Yonatan Eitan. Ben Basheva Bracha. Amen. Lefur Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther. Lefur Sayele Daniel Zeb Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Isai, we're holding on the last words of Daf Samach Daled Amud Beis. So don't get used to it. That was in Bein Hazmanim. Shiurim was shorter, so we're holding where we need to be holding. I have to tell you, listen, it was tough, it was fun, but it was hard, and you got to daf on. You got to prepare daf, give 2 shiurim, and you guys have to learn the daf. And preparation was not the same. And I'm happy to be back. Be'ez Hashem, Sunday with frische koiches. I hope I recharge my batteries. Right now, I need to recharge my batteries from recharging my batteries. That's normal, no?
Yeah, 100%.
But the batteries are recharged. Rabbi Yehuda Shadalei Kurbana Lavidrona B'Yomedam. We have stories over here because this is Avodah Zarah. It's an Avodah Zarah daf, typical with stories, with gishmak. Rabbi Yehuda sends a gift to a goy on his holiday. That's the first Mishnah of Avodah Zarah. Should not send a gift to a goy 3 days before his holiday. He sends it on the holiday. Omar, what's pshat? Yudana beidaloi polach l'Avodah Zarah. Huh? I know him. He's not a goy gomer. We had this. The Israelis did a cool thing. So because some of you, I know for a fact, you weren't here. You didn't see this. I'm going to show it to you because we just hired 2 new people this week, and the guy does very good work. I want to show you this thing. So the Israeli said, this is from this guy Shlomo. So I'll let you watch it, then I'll tell you what the Israelis did with this. He's selling all his stuff. He's becoming a ger, this guy. This is interesting. He's trying to do a bris milah. But this is Gishmak. Look at this. He's walking up empty white steps.
הגמרא בעבודה זרה מספרת שגוי הגיע לפני רבה ואמר לו, הגבוי, אני רוצה להתגייר.
So the Israelis said that they found out, it's a terrible story, they found out this guy was an imposter, he's not a real ger, and he's giving shiurim. Come tonight to see the real Magid whatever. They sent this out. Anyway, fine. Why did I say that? I have no idea. Anyway, so there's a goy gomer, there's not a goy gomer. He knew for a fact that there's a famous joke in Eretz Yisrael, but I'll say that, to insult a different group instead of this group. There's an Arab worker tells the guy he's working on, he says he needs a break. He says, why do you need a break? He says, I need to eat lunch. He says, but it's Ramadan, you don't eat lunch. He says, no. I'm not what you call Haredi. I'm Haredi light. So there's a guy that does Avodah Zarah, and there's a guy that doesn't do Avodah Zarah. What do you mean? You can't just know him. You know your neighbor, he doesn't do Avodah Zarah. You have to know there's halachas. He has to accept upon himself not to worship Avodah Zarah. You can't just say, oh, I don't do Avodah Zarah. I know that he doesn't do Avodah Zarah. We discussed this yesterday. A whole story about Ger Taisha. What's a Ger Taisha? Either he doesn't do Avodah Zarah, or he accepts upon himself or he does all the mitzvahs, but he eats nevela. But he does. Says Gemara, Kitanya hi lachayoisai. We're learning that sugi. The whole what's a ger taisha? What's the difference? He accepted 7 mitzvahs. He didn't accept them. What's the difference to us? The difference to us is, do you have to keep him alive? Are you mechuyev to give tzedakah to sustain? And I spoke to people after shir also yesterday because I said the story in Hebron. There's a group of guys. And the guy came over to me after shir and says, I was part of a different group in a different yeshiva. That when you need emergency, there's not a lot of people don't donate that much blood here in Israel. The reserves are low. So if there's an emergency, chas v'shalom, they call up these guys, these yeshiva bachrim, we call them up in the middle of the night. Hey, 3 in the morning, run over to the hospital right now. We need blood. We need platelets, whatever it is. So one night, the guy wakes up and says, listen, but I got to tell you the truth. This is shalom shalanu, this guy. So if it's 3 in the morning, we're going to wake up all the chaver, Leiba shalanu. So they asked the Rashim said, Mishumeiva, you might have to go. So if you could get out of it, and if people chap that these yeshiva bachrim not going because he's not a yid, okay. So, but is there a chiyuv? Lachayoisai. You have a chiyuv. You do have a chiyuv to get up at 3 in the morning, lachayoisai, to keep him alive. But that's when the guy decides to get toishav. But now I see somebody's very upset about this. What happened? What are you saying?
The rabbi should go there for sure because he's a ger.
He's not a ger. No. I said Lo Mishalanu.
No, not a ger. I'm talking about a goy.
Yeah, why? Kiddush Hashem. Mishumeva, Kiddush Hashem. There's different reasons. Okay, fine. That's why you have to ask the Rashiva. But another problem. This guy didn't have a bris milah. He had 12 months to get it done. He didn't do it. So this Abidron obviously didn't have a bris milah. So he's still a guy. He's still a Avodah Zarah l'chayra. He's a min. How can you give him a gift on his chaga? And by the way, you have to point out here that they ask, I think the Rishonim even, if he's not a Avodah Zarah, so what are you giving him a gift on his holiday? And the answer is, if you're chutznik, American, there's a lot of goyim that keep, let's say, Christmas, but they're not fully involved. Like they don't bring korbanos. They give the gifts. They take the day off, of course, a free day off. Why not? It's a fun day. They celebrate it, but very, very. So this guy was celebrating it. In Eretz Yisrael also, there's certain days that people make barbecues, even though they're not part of. It's a barbecue day. Over here, he gave him an animal to make a barbecue. Why not? What are you smiling about?
Good reference.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
Well played.
No, he gave him an animal to make a mangal. Doesn't mean that he's going to bring a carbon. Not everybody brings carbonas. Some people are not so involved in the holiday and they just make a mangal. Haredi light, exactly.
It's a new beer.
No. Dati Lumi light. He doesn't say halal, but he makes a mangal. It's a new gather. So says the Gemara, Hasam, you know who's a min? A guy who's in bad shape is a guy who accepted upon himself a bris milah, and at the end he didn't do it, so we call him a min. But this guy just doesn't do Avodah Zarah. He's smart enough to realize that this piece of wood is not his God, and he doesn't do Avodah Zarah, but he never accepted upon himself to be mal, so we're not going to hold it against him. So Rabbi Yehuda gave him a carbon. Same exact story with Rava, but this is a super interesting story. It's actually a famous story because of all the detail here. It's a story that we really have to understand. I don't understand it myself. There's a lot of things that are hard to understand. Rava amtile kurbano lebar sheshach biyoim edom. Rava brings a carbon to this person by the name of Bar Sheshach on his holiday. Omar, same thing. Yudana Bey, Deloy Polach Avodah Zarah. I know he's not going to bring this to Avodah Zarah, so I have no problem giving him an animal. Ozal, he goes, Ashkeche, the Yosef al Tzavore bevarda. He's sitting in rose water, in petals, in this unbelievable bath. V'kaimen zoynas arumis kamei, and his undressed zoynas in front of him. Omar lei, islechu ka'agavna la'amad asi. The guy tells Rava, are you going to enjoy yourself like this in the world to come? Omar lei, didan adifo tfei mahai. What do you mean we're going to enjoy? We're going to enjoy much more than this. A little bit of a depiction here. I like this rose barrel right over here. It has brings him a carbon. So how's it possible? What do you mean more than this? What bothered me is, imagine any Rosh Hashiva, Rav, Gadol Adar walking into that situation. What would they do? They would run for their life. He's having a conversation with him. It's hard to understand. The guy's in the bath. I don't know what's going on all over here. There's all sorts of maris asuros, more than asur, and he's having a shmooze with him. The only thing I could think of is, imagine you are the head of Agudas Yisrael and you're representing Trump, and you walk in and Trump is sitting there, and there's I don't know what all over. You got to continue. I mean, you're Klal Yisrael. You're not just Rava by himself. If you walk out, then you walked out on Klal Yisrael. Now he's going to take it out on Klal Yisrael. I don't know what. So he closes his eyes. He does what he has to do, but he keeps on. He has a conversation. He's being serious with this individual. I don't know. It's like I didn't see anybody talk about it, but
Mark talks about when there was someone who was waiting after the woman went out of the place. Did they look like?
Rav Yochanan. No, that's different. That's different. Over here, he walks into a situation. I'm just saying, if it happened to anybody else and he stayed in that situation, his career is over. Nowadays we're much more chashuv than this. Fine.
Do we know better?
It's not a picture.
Huh?
It's a video.
What's the video? Oh, it's a video? I don't know if I want to see it. Okay, let's see. He's sitting there with his flippers. No, the green flippers. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is the end of the story. We didn't even get to this part yet. Oh, that's the end. Okay. Yeah, we got to see the Gemara first. So, when I was learning this Gemara, and you can see this over here, I noticed that I have no writings in my Gemara over here. Like, wow, I must have not given shir here. And then all of a sudden, Noam texts me, and he's like, I noticed in my Gemara I have a lot of ha'aras in the Mesivta, and that's where he gave shir.
Yeah.
That's it. Your patch is off. We'll talk about it later. So I guess Noam, and then Menachem Ates sent me something about it, but I didn't have a chance to look at it. Something that where is he? Is he here? No, he was here last night. So he probably explained where he took over. You took over. I have no idea. Anyway, So we're in the middle of this Geshmaka Maisa. And he says, why are we better? You have the fear of the king. In the future, in Olam HaEmes, we have no fear. We sit there and enjoy ourselves without any fear. I saw somebody wrote that to give a mashal b'zman hazeh, a guy is in reserve cut, says I have the best, one of the best restaurants in Manhattan, sitting there, $300 a person. The big fat steak comes out, geschmack moed, and all of a sudden the IRS representative shows up at your table, stands there. We got a schmooze. How much of an appetite do you have? Your whole appetite. You enjoy yourself now. What happens if the king summons you? And of course, you're like, what fear of the king do I have? Adiyasvi. They're just sitting around and schmoozing. All of a sudden, a messenger of the king comes. Get up. The king wants you. When he got up, he says, Bar Shesha, the guy says, Bar Sheshach, the eye that wants to see bad to you Jews, tipaka should fly out of his socket. He's trying to be nice. But Niva v'leyoda masheniva, he said a nevuah, he didn't even know what he was saying. Amalei Rava, Amen. Thank you, great bracha. That second, pokain in the Bar Sheshach. His eye pops out of the socket. So now we have to see this again. Now that we know the whole story, he's sitting there enjoying himself. He has his goggles on. I don't know, there's no volume. I heard the bing. Pokain in the shisha. Fine. Pokain in the Bar Sheshach. Omer Papi. How come Rava didn't answer Bar Sheshach from this pasuk? Benois melachim bikroisecha. That Klal Yisrael, who's gonna serve them? The daughters of the kings of the world. Lots of love when everybody knows the truth. They're gonna give you covet. Nitzvah shegal li mincha. Even the queen is going to stand straight to your right. Bekesem oifer, wear all these golden ornaments and jewelry. In other words, you have the lowest low of the people of the world, and we're going to have the highest. We're going to have the queens, not for isurim, but to serve us. Why don't you say this other pasuk? Ayin lo'ira'asa, an eye is never seen, a human being, there's no being that understands and saw. Elikim, besides you, Hashem, only you know what awaits those who are able to wait, to Olam HaEmes, to the time. Ayin lo'ira'asa, it's going to be unbelievable. It's a pellet this whole sugya, the whole time. We're here in this world to work on our taivas, to break our nisyonos. And he's telling him, look, mamish olam hazeh, you don't have better than this olam hazeh. You don't have. And Rava, what is he? Rava kind of plays with him. He doesn't say, no, this is the bad. And no, we have more. The king. We have to understand this. There's different things. There's different svarim say different things. Everybody can say their own shot here. So we had in the Mishnah that you're not allowed to take payment for transporting Avodah Zarah. But if you're transporting other stuff and he throws in a bottle of Yain Nesach, so you're allowed to take the payment. Now, I want to preface this, that when it says you're allowed to take the payment, it doesn't mean the payment of the Avodah Zarah. That, we'll say this, hopefully I say it again. If not, you'll remind me. You're not permitted to take a payment for Avodah Zarah. You're allowed to take payment, not for the Avodah Zarah. So, if you're getting paid the whole day 100 shekel, and you did a little Avodah Zarah, so you have to take off 5 shekel, throw it away, throw it into the garbage, give it back to the guy. The chiddush is on the 95. They're allowed to take the 95. That doesn't affect the whole payment. So the Gemara has a kasha, and it's not just a kasha, it's actually pshat in the sugya, according to Abaya. Litoisi Erev means after hours. When you already finish work, at 5 o'clock, everybody goes home. At 5:05, he schlepped this barrel of Avodah Zarah wine. And that doesn't affect the rest of the payment, the salary. Our Mishnah doesn't talk about after hours. Our Mishnah says, you take the salary no matter what. It doesn't matter when he schlepped it. It doesn't say in the Mishnah when he schlepped it. Even if he carried this barrel for the guy, the Yain Nesach, at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's fine. Remini Avakasha, it says Mefurish, HaSoicher Zapoyel, you hire a worker, Litoisi Erev, and it says Mefurish, when did he work? After hours, by nighttime. Please take this barrel of Nesach from one place to another place. Once again, you're allowed to get your salary. It's not referring to the salary for the barrel of wine. It's referring to the entire amount of money that he made besides the Yain Nesach amount. But it says before it's only because it's after hours. But the rest of the day, you're not permitted. Omar Abaye, therefore Abaye says you're right. We have to say nupshat, huh?
Then part of the salary is also for the moving of the barrel. That's why. Meaning if it's litus erev, then it's separate. It's a separate salary. It's not overtime. It's separate. I already committed to you for your work during the day. Now at night, I'm asking you to do this.
Yeah, it's separate. Exactly. If it's not, we're going to see in a second. In 2 seconds, we're going to see. Don't argue with him. You gave a share. You gave a share on the stuff. Yeah. We're gonna see soon.
It's for you though. That's not any day.
We're gonna see soon that when the salary is dependent on the Avodah Zarah, so it ruins the whole salary. When it's not dependent on the Avodah Zarah, so it's fine. So over here, it's not dependent. The salary is not dependent on Avodah Zarah because it's after hours. So maybe you're allowed to take it. Which is a big chiddush. There's no mention of it in our Mishnah. The Omar li toisi erevnan. We must explain, you're right, because of this. We're talking about, it's nighttime. It's after hours. It's not dependent. Rav Amar Lekashi. Rava says, let me explain it to you. Rava wants to say pshat, like he agrees with Abaya in concept, but he says, maybe we could explain pshat even during regular hours. I could also separate the salary into different pieces during the day. How do I do that? He says, I want you to bring over 100 barrels, and I'm going to pay you at the end of the day 100 prutos, which would seem like that if you don't bring all 100 barrels, you don't get paid. You have to bring 100 to get 100. So Memela, if he brings 99, no good. If he brings 100 and that 100th one is Avodah Zarah, then it's good. That means all 99 other barrels are dependent on the 100th, otherwise he doesn't get paid at all. Oh? It has an effect on the entire salary. You can't take his salary. But if he says, listen, bring as many as you want. You want to work, you want to bring one at a time, bring one at a time. You want to bring 99, bring 99. You want to bring 100, bring 100. So for the 99, he gets paid for 99. He gets paid his salary. For the 100th, he tells the guy, listen, keep the 100 pruta, or if he pays him a $100 bill, he takes 1 cent and throws it into the ocean. I'll prove it to you. Bring 100 barrels for 100. Why? Because everything's dependent on each other. Each barrel is dependent on the other. And one of them was a Yain Nesach barrel. So all 100 are like the sechar of a Yain Nesach, and it's also to take any of the salary. Chav is brutal, but he says specifically. So Rava got this idea from a Braisa. I'm just going to repeat this. It's also to bring that 100th barrel. If you knew that it's Yain Nesach, it's also for you to bring it. You're not allowed to benefit. But if you went ahead and you did, for whatever reason, you forgot, you didn't know, you don't care, then don't take salary for it. If you, another case, same idea as the Reisha, but this time you are hiring a taxi driver, a donkey driver, to bring Yain Nesach. you're not allowed to take the sechar. But if you're schlepping other stuff, and derech hagav, you bring a barrel of wine, it's okay. As Gemara Sulam, it's the same exact case. Hainu reisha, save it zrichalei. Because this brings us to another idea. I need for the second case. The guy hired the Jew to take him somewhere on the donkey. Schari mutar. You're permitted, the Jew driver could take the payment, even though he schlepped a whole canteen full of yain nesach wine. What's pshat? Why could he take the payment? But he just helped the guy bring yain nesach. L'meimer the login lav dinahu lo'isuve. Perhaps you could say because when you pay a guy in a taxi, you don't pay him for the canteen. You take me from here to there. Happens to be I schlep a canteen with me. Now in our days, obviously that's how it goes. But in time of the Gemara, it was very different. Everything that you bring on the donkey was very calculated. How much could I bring? How many pairs of socks? How many drinks? How many snacks? And then the driver also brings stuff. And each one has a certain schos. Reading this, and I learned this on the plane, I was thinking to myself, it's unbelievable. When I was writing Ha'aretz in my Gemara, it was smooth, like literally sitting here on the desk. It was unbelievable, nothing, no shaking, garnished. In the taxi, it was impossible to write the whole time. Cars, I don't know if we realize, our brains are like this the entire time. Plane is unbelievable, smooth. But imagine riding on a donkey. Riding chidushim on a donkey. It's not shaykh. And to go from Bet Shemesh to Yerushalayim is a 4-day, it takes in a car 30 minutes, it's 4 days to get there, you have to stop and a dangerous thing. It's unbelievable what they had to go through. And you're schlepping a donkey, you have to bring food, and you need food for the donkey. There's no gas station, so you have to fill him up in the middle, you have to take off the whole cheshbon here, what to do. And that's what we're going to get into. So the question is, do you have the right to bring wine? Let's say the guy has the right to bring a canteen with him. That's part of what he's paying. So that's part of what he's paying. Then the Jew made money on it. The Jew charged him $1,000 to go from Bet Shemesh to Yerushalayim. It's a 4-day trip. It's $1,000. What are you laughing about? What's going on here?
No, you can't.
We can't say it.
You can't. It's a good one, but you can't say it.
Don't say it.
He knows it.
You can't say it. Seriously.
Okay, good. So don't say it. There's a joke going around here that I don't know what it is. It's not Roy for the shear. Trust me, it's not Roy. But these guys are laughing. They're saying it. A bunch of Prasta Chevra I have here.
How hard this must be for you?
No, not at all. It's hard for them, not for me. I have no chesed. So, so you hired this donkey driver. Oh, here we go. Here's the donkey driver. You see the leginoi by his left leg over there? That's the little. So the question is, did he pay for that? If he paid for it, if $100 of the $1,000 goes for his canteen, then the Jew is making money off yain nesach. If it's $1,000 and he just happened to bring a canteen with him, then he's not getting paid for it. But here, look, it says mefurish. When you hire a donkey, so here's another picture. Here's ksusoi. Ooh, that's ksusoi. What happened? The guy told him he's bringing too much. Okay. This is clothing. He's allowed to bring some food, snacks. Yeah, McDonald's, because he's a guy. And he's allowed to bring his wine. So in other words, he's paying for his wine. And all the food for that trip. And more than that, Chamar, Ma'akavel of the driver could stop and bring more. Chamar, how much could he bring? He needs food for the donkey and sustenance for that day. Only for that day, not for the whole trip. And more than that, the renter could say, no, I'm not allowing to bring more food. So, you see Mefurish, he's paying for Liginasai for his flask of wine. He's permitted to bring his thing. Mamish, it's mamish a kiss from Hashem. It happens to be, I was on a flight yesterday, and it's unbelievable. I was on a flight and in a taxi. So mamish, I have good schira. When you're on a flight, when you buy a flight, everybody knows you get one suitcase for free. Now, if you're 1K, you get 3 70-pounders. I hate you, by the way. That's a different story. I just became gold. Like, I don't even know how. Like, I never cared about miles and this kind of that. It's gewaldic. But the worst is, I was able to bring 2 suitcases of 70 and sitting there with the scale, making sure it's 50, 49, 45. Because if it's 51, she tells me, no, you could have had 70. Oh, 2 70s. Wow, could have brought more scope, more shampoo, deodorant. Wow. Heinz ketchup, that's all, yeah. Fine, I'll go upon him. Yeah, you hear? Everybody knows this marshal. Now we can relate to this. You go on a flight, you paid for your ticket, you paid for your suitcase. You come there and say, listen, Rebbitzin, I didn't bring a suitcase, I want $100 back. It doesn't work like that. You paid for a flight. The flight includes a suitcase. You don't want to bring a suitcase, don't bring a suitcase. You want to bring a suitcase, bring a suitcase. You're not going to get your money back. Your trip includes a flask of wine. You don't want to bring it, don't bring it. You're not getting any money back. So the Jew is not gaining by you bringing the flask. It just includes certain things. Hechidami. Now, why? Now we're just going to go into this idea of how much he could bring in. He can bring. I saw some gewaldige shaylas here. There's a Maisa Shaya with Yeshiva Bachrim where you know what? I'll start from Shimi Weiss. I got to start from Shimi Weiss. Shimi Weiss, Zechron Levracha, was a big part of our shir. He died very young, and he told us a gewaldige Maisa. He got to Florida. He asked Leiba, when's Daf Yomi on Shabbos? So they said 5:30. I said, okay. 5:30 comes. He goes to the guy's house. He knocks. Nobody opens. So he goes in. He walks in, sits down. All of a sudden, he sees a barrel of a gun pointing down the stairs. Like, whoa, what's going on? The guy says, and he's in his pajamas. He's like, dude, what are you doing in my house? He says, you said the shear's at 5:30. 5:30 in the afternoon, you idiot. Okay. And he shows up in the guy's house, 5:30, wakes him up. The guy hears noise in his dining room. It's Florida. Everybody has a gun. What?
How was the guy's door open?
It's Florida. I want to tell you my Shaya. You asked me listen to this. My son-in-law tells me, you have to see this guy's house. I'm a good friend. He became friendly with a guy there in Park City. So it's okay, let's go. He's not there. That's his vacation home. So we pull up and the gate opens up like this. You just pull up to the gate. We come in there, there's a barn. The barn must have cost over $1 million. It's a 3-story barn, massive. He has 3 pieces of exercise equipment, a few pairs of skis, and 2 bikes for $1 million. He built himself a $1 million barn to house that. Then this massive house on a lake, his own private lake, 2 horses, bunch of chickens, whole crazy. I have video if anybody wants to see. You just walk into the house. Everything's unlocked. So anybody can just pull up, gates open up, the whole house. Mamish.
Posted on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Park City. There's no crime there. There's nothing. Garners. He left for a few months. Left his house. And maybe he probably has a few people working there. I'm saying, who's taking care of the horses and everything? Yeah. Well, cameras. He's got cameras. He's over there. I'm there taking his whole house out. Cameras. Big long driveway. Okay, fine. Next. Remind me. No door unlocked. So. What's the case? Everybody, both people need to eat. So how come he gets to bring a whole week's worth of food and the driver not? If you could buy, if there's 7-Eleven everywhere, so why could he bring 7 days worth? Just go into the store and buy some food. If there's no stores anywhere, so how could the passenger prevent the driver from bringing more food? If you really want to work hard and knock on people's doors, from day to day you can find food. It's normal for a driver to go and schlep and figure out where the food is. Therefore, it's not the way for the passenger to look for food. He doesn't know how to do it, so he gets to bring more food. Before you turn the page, there's something very interesting. Before you turn the page, read this slowly. Avua de Ravacha, the father of Ravacha, Berei de Ravika, the father of Ravacha, the son of Ravika. In other words, Ravacha was the son of Ravika. So we're talking about Ravika, but we're calling him Avua de Ravacha Berei de Ravika. It's a very, very weird way to call a person Ravika. Okay? His job was to pour wine from the barrels into the small flasks for going. And he would take it across the river. And we see this over and over, and even in our Masechta, they didn't necessarily pay with cash, they would pay with different things. So he got paid with barrels. Also, they snitched on him. He said, Ravika is dealing with the Ayin Esek L'chayra. The concern L'chayra is that in the bottom of every guy's flask, there's a little tiny bit of Yain Esek in there. He makes his flask Yain Esek, then he drinks it, and there's always a little bit on the bottom. So when I pour my kosher wine into his flask, it turns into Yain Esek. He's working with kosher wine. Then it hits the bottom over there, it's not a problem. Again, something that we saw over and over. When you, Jew, want the existence of the Yain Esek, you're happy when it exists. That's also, when you want, we said the guy got paid to break all the barrels of Yain Esek wine, that's problematic. Why? Because you want the barrels to exist. The more barrels of Yain Esek there are, the more you get paid. That was a shayla in the Gemara. We said tifla is better to break the barrel, but over here he wants the wine to exist. Why? What if the they didn't have the plastic that we have today, that it never explodes, 1 in a billion explodes. Over there, it was made out of leather, and every once in a while, poof, it would explode. Now what would happen if it would explode? He would have to give up his barrel that he worked so hard for. So the Jew doesn't want the guy's canteen flask to break, and Mameli is right to Bekuma. He wants it to exist because he's thinking about it himself. He's being selfish. Says Gemara, no, he's not thinking about himself. The Master Vadayu makes a deal with them that even if your flask breaks, you don't get my barrel, so he's safe. He does not want Bekuma. Inami the Maisu Pristiki Badayu. Everybody brings a spare flask in case it breaks. They don't take the barrel. Says Gemara, but we have another problem. What?
Flask. I mean, you want the flask. You don't care for the little bit of Yain Esek inside. You're not right to Bekima of the little Yain Esek that's left.
But what does that have to do with the flask?
Right to Bekima.
What does that have to do with the flask? Oh, sponsor. That's a good way to get out of his kasha. We'll do the sponsor by the Mishnah. But Lamaisi, he's bringing the wine across the river. How can he do that? The Qatar Bisura. He's working with the Yain Esek. Yemasim wasn't in the flask, it's the Yain Esek. So how could he schlep afterwards? Says the Gemara, he tells the guy that takes him over the water. He tells him before, and I'm going to have some clients. You just do me a favor, take them over for free. Inami the Nikitile Kitre, he ties some. He doesn't even deal with it. He doesn't say anything. Anybody that comes with a certain knot and a string gets to go across the river by himself. Here we have. Here, where was this? Here, right over here. 1 second. Sponsor. It even has. So that's the robe, the little robe. Okay. Gewaldig. Ooh, I really want to show you this, maybe before the mission. Sponsors. Remind me to show you this thing. Turning on the daf. Adar Global. MDY is enjoying the benefit of Meisters of Adar's MDY clients. Create more Meisters of MDY so Adar can help us all get to Amud Beis. Anonymous. Who's still sitting Shiva today, I believe. No? Today's last day. He told me, he keeps on sending me, he says, you don't understand how many people came. People flew. They took flights. People drove. People, the amount of messages. And he's a tzaddik. I heard from different people. He wrote back to people private, like not the Erev Rosh Hashanah text that everybody sends out. Each person got a anonymous as schos fatzloch and ruchnis and gashmius. I'll just show you this. We don't have time. It's already 8:02. I'll have to show it a different time. Okay. Remind me. Somebody sent me a very nice video of. I'll just show this real quick. John Stern. I'm not going to show the whole thing. Remind me to show you. This is today's day and age. The process is very interesting. It's massive, this thing. Oh, it's 2 minutes. I can't show the whole thing. I'll show 20 seconds. I'll show the rest a different time. You'll see the stems go in here. You see all the stems, everything. And this machine separates the stems from the grapes. Then there's a machine, it's a whole beautiful process. What?
Right now it's the season.
We should really go. Fine, let's find out where it is. Let's go. It's the biggest schmuck to get a little tour. Says the Eli Mishnah. You have a big problem. You have this terrible yain nesach wine that's also bahana, falls on top of grapes. What do? You just wash it off in water because it didn't penetrate the grape. It's not adding anything to the grape, and then you're allowed to eat the grapes. But if the grapes have cracks in them, asurais. So there's a very interesting taisis here. I thought it's important to know. It says taisis Taisis says, as soon as you pop that grape off the stem, it creates a little hole in it. So if yain nesach falls on it, yain nesach goes into it. So must be talking about, says Taisis, all these grapes are attached to the stems. If the same yain nesach falls on a different type of fruit, called figs or dates, most people here don't even know what a fig tastes like because it's very problematic, I think, to eat figs, or maybe they don't. But the tamarim, I'm not saying this to be nice to my good friend from California, but he sent me 2 bags of dates. He sent me in the past dates, but this time he sent me dates. I'm telling you, I've never had dates like this in my life. It was like, I have it here at home. If anybody's a meshugana date person, tell me, and it tastes like candy, but not stam candy. Bemis, like just pure candy. Like, you know, you buy this caramel candy and the whole thing's like gooey. That's what it tastes like. It's unbelievable. It's not a fruit. So if it adds, we know this whole concept of nois and tam, if it adds good flavor to the dates, to the figs, also makes everything also. Rabbi Isai, if it adds flavor to the dates, what's the halacha? Also. And I'll bring you a raya. Here's the story. And there's a story, but Baitis ben Zainin, this person, and we had him a few times in Shas, he brought these figs on a boat. Mamish a story that we're talking about. The wine, the yain nesach fell on it, and what should be the halacha, Rabbi Isai? Osir. They said it's mutter. So that's the famous line in the Gemara, Maisa Listar. You tell me a story, right after you told me halacha, you told me a story that's exact opposite of the halacha. Zaklau says the Mishnah, if it gives a good flavor, it's also if it doesn't add any flavor, mutter. That's going to be the answer of the Gemara. That the story is to say that was a case that it didn't give a good flavor, and therefore it is mutter. Just missing a couple of words.
Why are grapes different?
Because just the way the composition of the grape. It has like a thick skin.
But even if it doesn't give time, it says it's usher.
No.
It's usher.
Right, because that does give tam. If mevuka, it's also it has a certain skin on it that it repels. If you wash it in the sink, all the flavor goes away. But in a fig and a date is thinner skin, so the wine penetrates. It's just the way it's composed. The mitzias of a date is different. It'll penetrate no matter what. Kigoin chometz, like vinegar, shenofal agabe grease, and if you put vinegar into your chalt, you know what's going to happen. It's a bad thing. So it's a bad thing, so it's mutter. As the Gemara, my solicitor, you're telling me a story that's against the halacha that we just said a second ago. It's missing a few words, but it's self-understood. If it gives a bad flavor, it's mutter. Because over there it's a different type of fig. It's on a ship, it's an older one, it's a dried out fig, and memela, the wine is no good for it. They said, listen, it's bad for those type. So it's all dependent. If it's a fig that's good for it, it adds flavor, it's also. By Baisis ben Zainon, it added flavor and was bad for it, no good. Says Gemara, same story. Wine fell on a bunch of wheat. Now, I just want to pause here for a millisecond, just because we said this a bunch of times in the sugyas. What does yain nesach mean? Of who? Oh, yeah, you're right. I do have here. Shkoyach, thank you. You were here yesterday. This is the fig thing. This is mamish the story of the Titanic. Because you got. No, you missed the whole. The punchline is that he, after he was saved, he had nothing to eat because he had nesach on his figs. Okay. So Shai Rav is So here's the Shaila. Why can't you take a bunch of wheat and put it in the sink and rinse it off? What's the answer? Wheat. You have wheat. The same story that we had in the Mishnah, but with wheat.
It's absorbed.
Oh, why?
It went inside.
It went inside. For some reason, it goes inside. But Shai Rav is. Oh, so I was in the middle of my thing before I was so rudely interrupted to show the video. But you're right, because it was in the sugi before. It says Yain Esach, so I just want to point out. No, what's Yain Esach? You said the shir, you have to tell me what's pshat. Yain Esach means wine that's also, but sometimes it doesn't mean that. It's like we call it today, us. What do we say? Oh, the guy that touched our wine, it's Yain Esach. It's not Yain Esach, it's Tam Yainam. We have to be talking about that type of Yain Esach, because if it's Yain Esach mamish, that somebody took it and poured it to, Avodah Zarah, Rabba would not say you're allowed to sell to a guy. You're not allowed to touch it. You have to spill it into the toilet. So Nachamos. So let's read it again. There was a bunch of chita, the Noval Chavisa, the Yain Esach, and a bunch of Yain Esach fell in it. Not real Yain Esach, the fake stuff that we call Yain Esach today, which we call, what was it called? Stam Yainam. Shai Rav is so he said, you know what? Sell to a guy. So he asked the question to Rava. A guy is putting together, in those days, thread by thread. One of the 10,000 threads happens to be tzemer, and you're making a pishtim clothing. So now you have a problem of klein. You're not permitted to sell to a guy. Why not? Rabbi said, why can't you sell klein to a guy? A guy could wear klein, so why can't you sell it? He'll sell it back to a Jew. Are you allowed to make a saddle for a donkey out of klein, out of shatnez? Yes, 100% mutter. Why? It's a tougher material, it's not a problem. The whole problem is that it might go into your clothing. That's the problem. In terms of you sitting on it, there's no isser. But don't make it a saddle. You could, a mace has 0 mitzvahs. That's it, right? We have to knock it into our head. A dead person cannot accomplish anymore. Can't learn Torah, can't do mitzvahs.
It's after mitzvah, though, he says.
Yeah, let his family. Okay. I don't know, because you don't have a mace, but you want to do it for a mace mitzvah. I don't know. Good child.
They take it out also.
Okay, take it out.
So with the stapler, they didn't want to sit.
Yeah. I had the same shaila. Shaila didn't want to sit on a thing, but because maybe it was a little softer. I was thinking it's a little cushiony, but a thicker one. Fine. So you can make him a mace mitzvah. I have a shaila for you. Rabbi say, what happens if a Talmid Chacham? People, Bezer Shem. You're everybody here with the Mashiach is coming next week, and you buried a mace with tachrichim, without tzitzis. They're going to wake up and wear beged without a tzitzis. What's going to happen? Is that a shaila or not? Would you ask such a question? Tosis asked that question. So maybe you should put tzitzis on the mace so that when he wakes up, because we believe that the Emunah Shleim is going to wake up right now, Kis HaMesim, he's going to walk around without what he's going to have to take off his clothes. You have to take it off. It doesn't have tzitzis. What are you going to do? What? Why? Why do we pass on tzitzis? So he talks about it. The people are not so makbid on tzitzis, and today, so many people that are not shomer Torah mitzvahs, they wear tzitzis. And he says, on the one hand, you shouldn't put on tzitzis him because he never wore during his lifetime. But but then you'll be like the rush. The whole thing finally goes into this very interesting. Check it out. Why can't you sell to a guy? Maybe you sell to a yid. Maybe this guy that has all this wheat that's full of yain nesach, the guy will take it and sell to a Jew. The Gemara says that Rava, it seems like he took it back. He said, wow, that's a good kasha. So Rava said, you're right. Don't just sell it to a guy. But if you make bread out of it, if you make bread, you could sell it to him for that. Why? If you do it not in front of a Jew, then the Jew saw that it's a Jewish bread, so he'll go buy it from the guy. But typically speaking, a Jew won't buy bread from a guy, so that you could do. Tanan, just 4 more lines. If the wine, it says in our Mishnah, wine fell on the grapes, you just wash it off, and it's mutter, if it has cracks in it, it's also because it penetrated the grape. How come this is different than grapes? Why is it when it comes to grapes, if it has a crack, it's also, but when it comes to wheat, it doesn't need a crack, it's also? because check out the sweet on the screen. It has a little bit of a cleft. It has a crack in it, and it absorbs the yain nesa. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. What time is Shir Motzei Shabbos? No, what time is Motzei Shabbos? 8 o'clock is Motzei Shabbos? Yeah. So 10 and 11? 10 and 11. Rabbi said 10 o'clock English. 8 o'clock? It's great to be back. Mom, it's great to be back.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at mdydaf.com.